Hey everybody, welcome back to Baseline Farms. My name is Jade, and yeah, so I was planning on, I was gonna do a garden vlog yesterday and do some chores around the house, and then something crazy happened. My daughter was waiting for one of her friends to come over, and we kind of live on a country road, but a lot of people like to use this highway or this road as a highway, and they're flying down the road at 80 miles an hour. It's nuts. And so her friend was coming down to see her, and they were just gonna hang out here at the farm and play. And I don't even know if teenagers do that, play still. But yeah, they're just gonna come out here and hang out. And he got into a car accident, and right in front of our neighbor's house. And thank goodness everyone was okay, and no one got injured. So that was thank goodness. My daughter was waiting outside and waiting for them to come, and yeah, and so that was really scary. They were really shaken up, and the driver is not a seasoned driver. So, and what I mean is that they haven't been behind the wheel for very long. And the person that he got into a collision with, they have been behind the wheel for a while. You could tell by looking at them. And so, of course, in the heat of the moment, people were getting out of the cars, yelling at this young kid that just got his driver's license. And it's dangerous. The roads are dangerous. It's dangerous for young kids. Traffic's moving really fast. These kids are not experienced, and people are not patient. And so he pulled off to the side of the road, and he thought he was clear, made a turn, and this person just came right into him. So that was horrible. He never said it wasn't his fault. He understood, but he was really shaken up, and people were yelling at him, asking him if he was on drugs and all kinds of things, and didn't really understand that he was just a young driver, inexperienced, and a person that probably, if was paying attention to the road, could have probably seen him over a mile away, because there's nothing blocking their view. It's just a very clean strip of road. So have that driver been looking up, seen a car on the side of the road, maybe they would have slowed down. But even when the highway patrol came, none of the cars slowed down. It was just crazy how fast people are in a hurry. So I did have a lot of chores. I just had to get that off my chest because it was very emotional for me, because I'm teaching my daughter to learn how to drive. And when I see other drivers out there that have been behind the wheel for some time talk to a young person that is just learning how to drive, I'm thinking, you are in that position as well. And I pray that you have car insurance, because these young adults need to learn from our experience and need to learn and be educated from the people that have been driving on the road for a long time and lead by example. And some of these drivers were not leading by example, and I was, shame on them. So with that being said, I don't want it to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just glad that everyone was okay. And I had a lot of chores to do yesterday. I was gonna do so many things. My gosh, you guys. Okay, so first I'm dabbling in how to make sourdough. I have been wanting to make sourdough for a long time. I've watched videos on making sourdough, and I really wanted to do that. So I started a sourdough starter. I hydrated a sourdough starter, which I'm going to show a video as soon as I get done editing it. It's almost ready to be used for baking. So I have to do one more video, and maybe later on today I'm going to do a video of me finishing off that video. So I've been doing that. I've been doing that for the past 4 or 5 days now. I think today's the 5th day. I started last week on Wednesday. And matter of fact, last week was nuts, you guys. The rain was just coming down in sheets and pouring down super amounts of rain. And so the parks that John is working at got flooded out. So the soil was super muddy. So then it kind of stopped him from working on the parks right now. I think the soil is back to normal. It's back to, being dry. But it was so crazy how the rain was just coming in an abundance. So we had that, and then it was like humid. Like today's a little bit humid. And now we're back up to like 90 degrees, 92 degrees. So the garden, you know, the garden did good. Everything did well in the garden. And what else? Did I start anything? Oh no, I did take out a bunch of tomatoes. So I pulled out some tomatoes and cut them back. And it was sad because I saw some green tomatoes on there, but I harvested what I could harvest. And then I think that's pretty much it, starting that starter. And the house is a mess because ever since the rain came, it just left, you know, just dropped a bunch of leaves and it was windy. So I need to do a lot of cleanup. I was going to blow yesterday, so I'm going to do that today, Sunday, and redo a couple containers. So it's probably going to take me all day to do it. John yesterday was working at the parks, and then at the last minute, his cousin called him and said that he had front row tickets to go see Roger Waters, which is a lead singer for Pink Floyd, if you don't know. And I'm sorry, he just cannot pass that up. So after he got done working at the parks, he shot out to go to see Roger Waters. And so he's on his way back now. And I ended up going to the next door neighbor's house for a little birthday party. So that was fun. Got to meet some new neighbors and things like that. So yeah, so let's just get started on the garden tour. That's just kind of a little update of what's been happening the past couple days. And that crazy accident yesterday, oh, that just made my heart drop. So let's get started with the garden, and we're gonna start off with the cucumbers. So let me show you what is happening with the cucumbers. Okay, so over here in the cucumber, oh my God, the weeds. The weeds are nuts. So over here in the cucumber area, the cucumbers are doing so well. I have been getting so many cucumbers, and you know, with all the commotion yesterday, I ended up staying home and entertaining these kids, so I didn't get to spend any time out here in the garden. So let me show you these cucumbers and how they are being trellised. You see that? Oh my goodness, look how beautiful they're doing. They are doing so good. And so what I ended up doing is I just got some twine, I put it over the top, and I'm just gonna drape them over the top. But look at all these cucumbers. There's one right there. See that one? And I have a few big ones right here. Look at that one. Holy moly. So these cucumbers are doing so well. Look at all those cucumbers right in there. Oh my goodness. This is so exciting. I am going to do this second succession of cucumbers every time, like every year. This is just going to be so awesome. Now these ones, I don't know if they're going to be able to produce anything, but I'm really hoping so. Now over here we have some onions, and they're doing really well, but I do need to put some more soil into this bed. Now over here, if you're wondering what this is a blueberry bush, and you know, it didn't do well, and I'm thinking because it doesn't like to be in full sun, and it's in full sun. So I think I'm gonna move that eventually. So over here we have the zucchini, and the zucchini is still doing really well. This is where we had the Determinate Roma tomatoes by Burpees, and yeah, I just pulled out everything. So I'm going to, eventually, I'm just probably gonna harvest all of this zucchini and fill this bed up with some soil, because I don't know what I'm gonna plant in it. I was kind of going through my seed collection and thinking what we use the most during the winter time, and what I like to make in dishes, like for the winter time. And I did not start any beets, and I'm thinking, I don't know if it's too late to start beets, but I was thinking about starting some beets, and I was thinking maybe another row of carrots, but I also think I could succession sow another row of carrots of where I have the carrots. So that I'm still playing around, because I did not realize how, you know, how big the beds are, and really I could fill them up with a lot of things. And I might just leave some of the beds empty if I can't, if I don't have anything to put in them. So here's another bed. These are where I had the Indeterminate tomatoes, Roma tomatoes by Botanical Interest. I love these tomatoes. I was so bummed when I had to pull them out, because there's still a ton of tomatoes. But I need to fix this irrigation, because when the guys put the irrigation in, they they put it through the cages. So in order to remove the cages, I had to cut the irrigation right there. So I'm gonna have to fix that and put more dirt in it. Okay, so over here in this bed, this is where we planted all of the garlic, and oh my goodness, it is doing so good. Let me show you what we have going. in this bed. Look at that. So we have, these are weeds. I hope they're weeds, but there's one right there. Do you see that? And here's a bigger one right here. And there's so many right there. Look at all that garlic. So maybe I should just plant more garlic, because we do use garlic for a lot of the dishes that we cook. So maybe I'll do that. Okay, so now over here, this is where we have our basil. And I noticed there's something eating on the leaves. Do you see that? There's like some little trails on them. So I think it's snails. That's what it looks like to me. So I'm probably gonna try to put some granules right on the outside of this garden bed and see if that will work to combat some of those slugs, because that's what it looks like. It has kind of a glossy look to it. So I'm assuming that's probably what it is. Okay, so let me show you the garlic. Oh no, the ginger. All right, so here is the ginger. Not all of them have opened up yet, but you see there's a few of them starting to, like right there. So thank you everybody for playing along and guessing how much could be in this garden bed. I'm so excited. Now over here, after the rain, so all these were doing really good, and then we had that rain, and then we had you know, just instant heat. So all of a sudden I started noticing little white flies in here, but I've also seen quite a few praying mantis and a bunch of ladybugs. So I'm hoping that is going to help me combat some of this problem. And I feel like it's going to be, once I harvest all these peppers, I feel like might be soon I might have to you know, take all these out. But I don't know, I don't want to have to spray anything on them, but I do see a lot of ladybugs in here. So hopefully the ladybugs will do their job, and we'll just go from there and see what happens. But look at this, they have tons of peppers. There's a huge one right here. Look at that. I've pulled out a few red peppers. There's a bunch of green peppers. So this is so exciting. Now, let me show you the lemongrass. This lemongrass is doing phenomenal. The shoots are super big. It keeps shooting out more shoots. I'm loving it. There's nothing, I can't say anything bad about it. It's the most easiest plant to take care of. And yeah, it doesn't need any work. All you have to do is, once it starts growing, you can harvest as much lemongrass as you want. I guess especially if it's aged like this. Like this one looks pretty old because the stalks are so big. So I am so pleased with this lemongrass, and I cannot wait for the winter time to try out some lemongrass tea. That's going to be so exciting. So I can't wait for that. So haven't forgotten about this guy. This guy is our tomato sucker that just started growing because I popped it into the soil and it started growing. Now I did see a couple tomatoes on there, but they're just tiny and they haven't turned any color. Now, you guys, so these right here, do you see those little seedlings? Those are tomato seedlings that I popped out from one of the garden beds that had the shimmering hybrids, and I'll show you where that's at. And I just put it in some soil, and I don't know if they're gonna grow. I don't know what's gonna happen with them, but I thought it would be fun to experiment to see, because they just started growing on their own. And you know, maybe we might get something. I don't know, we'll see. Now look at the lettuce patch. The lettuce patch is doing so well, and I feel that we could probably harvest some of this lettuce for dinner tonight, and that is so exciting. But you guys, I only have one cauliflower still, and I planted a bunch of seeds in here, but only one. Now the spinach seeds are coming up, all in the little areas that I popped them in at, so I don't know what's going on with the cauliflower. Just one cauliflower. But yeah, everything is doing so good. I am so pleased with this. And look at the beans. Look at these beans. They are trellising up. Oh, and then I have my Halloween mask. You know, these masks, you can get them from the dollar store, and they make great scarecrows. You could put them up everywhere. So let me show you. Oh, these beans. So these beans are not growing as vigorous as the other side, and I realized that these beans don't get sun right away like these guys. These guys get morning sun and they get afternoon sun, so they get a lot of light, unlike this side. Now this is where we planted the broccoli, and the broccoli is doing so good. Now this little damage was from when I was out here and I was picking out all those worms. There were some of them that were still out here, but I've been checking and nothing yet. This looks new though. I did not see that yesterday. Oh no, I'm gonna have to do some vigorous searching here. But we do have some of those broccolis popping up that we planted. So let's see, there's one, and then here's another one. Do you see that? So that's good. Oh, here's another one. Oh, and another one. So they're all kind of popping up. So that's definitely promising to have this much broccoli. Last year, I didn't have that much broccoli growing. I just had like a couple little stalks. And so this is so exciting. Now I'm still thinking about maybe sowing some seeds on this outer part right here just to get a good amount of broccoli, you know, maybe some of these little spaces right in through there. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so over here is where we have the butternut squash, and the butternut squash is doing so well. Look at that. So I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this butternut squash, because I know it's going to come out of the garden bed or out of this container and it's going to devour this area. So I feel like I'm probably going to put a cage. So the next time I do garden vlog, there's going to be a cage around this container, because I need to start since it's already kind of wanting to trail out. You guys, look at these turnips. These turnips are doing so good. My first time ever growing turnips, and this is so exciting. Every day I come out here and they've grown every day. It's so awesome. So that's so promising, and this is so exciting, especially being my first time ever growing turnips. Okay, now over here next to the turnips, do you see those little guys? That is celery. So I have a ton of celery. There's one right there. You can almost see it right there. And then I have like a few clusters. Do you see that? I'm probably gonna have to thin that out. And there's another cluster. So there's quite a bit celery growing over here. So that is so awesome, because I just bought celery from the supermarket the other day. Now over here we have these little cherry falls, and I am getting some cherries. Like, do you see all the little blossoms? I am getting some little cherry tomatoes, and it's looking so good. Look how healthy that looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and let it grow and then see what happens. Like, this one's a good size. So we'll see if this is gonna work out and if we're gonna get any cherry tomatoes before we get the cold weather. Now over there, that's where we had the jade beans, and I've given up. I've given up on it. I stopped watering it. I realized what was wrong with the soil. In this container right here, I used old soil and I did not fertilize it or add any amendments back into it. I just planted the seed right into it. And so without that nutrition, these seeds did not flourish like how they should have. So I just kind of gave up instead of continue to water that one. Okay, so over here we have our Myers lemon, and it's doing so good. But no lemons yet, no blossoms. And then I feel it's time to remove these petunias, even though they're still, look how bright, so pretty. Oh, I love these petunias. So yeah, I'm probably gonna clear out that container and do something different. So now over here, now look at this. This is a dahlia. I totally forgot. I put a dahlia bulb in there and it just started growing. But here are the carrots. Look at that. They are doing so good. Now I feel I could probably succession sow another row of carrots, like right on this outer part right there. And then these carrots are starting to pop up. Do you see that? On both sides. So maybe I could do another row of carrots down the middle, and maybe that'll work. So here are the, look at this, is a cabbage that's popping up, and this is a weed. But here's some more cabbage right there. This is the Brussels sprouts. Right here, still tiny but doing good. And then I think this is a Brussels sprout as well, because this is a cabbage. And then look at this. This is a cluster of tomatoes. I'm gonna have to take those out. Oh, I hate doing this, but let's just take that out now. Oh my goodness, look at those roots. These are the shimmering hybrids. Oh my goodness, I hate doing it. I'm just gonna give this to the chickens, but I know they're not gonna survive. And I already have all those other tomatoes. Now, I don't know what this is. I don't know if that's a flower or what, but here are some more cabbage. So that is what is happening in this bed, and so that is so exciting. It's doing so well. The carrots are doing so good. So I feel like, yeah, I could succession sow some more carrots right on that side. All right. So that is pretty much what is happening in the big garden. Now in the little garden, the only thing, you know what? In the little garden, some onions are popping up. Some onions that I thought died out are coming back up. So I continue to water it. But other than that, the zinnias have taken over. So it's pretty much the zinnia garden now and not the little garden, because there's really nothing growing in there except for a ton of eggplant. What else? Zinnias. The beans are looking okay. What else? Sorry, I thought something jumped on my foot. So what else is growing? Some green onion, just eggplant, ton of eggplant. The chickens are doing so good. Look at these ladies. Hey girls. They are doing so well. They are molting, I think that's what they call, but they're looking so nice. The little ones are not, but the older ones are. And they're so happy. They've been giving me probably about 10 to 12 eggs a day, which they should be giving me more. But now it's getting, you know, the nights were getting colder, especially with that rain. And so usually when something like that happens, they don't lay eggs, or they slow down in their egg production. Okay, so let's show you the little garden and how it's doing. I have some plants in here because I want to put them in the containers around the house. So like these mums. So these mums were supposed to go to a job site. And the thing with mums are that they're so beautiful when they're in blooming, when they're full bloom. But you have to buy them when the petals are so tight, when it's just all buds like that. So if it's just like that, that's when you want to purchase your mums. You do not want to purchase your mums when it's in bloom like this, because it doesn't last that long. So these were supposed to go to a job site, but I ended up not getting them into the ground soon enough. So I don't want to put flowers that are going to bloom and then just die out so fast. So I'm going to put those in the fire truck along with some orange ones. Okay, so here are the Kermit eggplants. Doing so good. I just made some green curry and put a bunch of those in there. Now here are the onions. They just started popping back up. I thought they were all dead, and so I have a few onions in here. So I'm going to go ahead and leave those. Now we have some onions growing in that bed. Oh, look at these. Sorry, I had to show you these. Look at these. Aren't those? That one's not that pretty. This one is. Look how pretty that is. This is called a Salvia. Look at that. So I'm gonna put this in a container along with these purple petunias. Aren't those so pretty? I think that's gonna look so cute. Okay, so this container right here, this is where we had the raspberries and some blackberries, and these are thornless. So I cleaned this all up because this was eaten up by party caterpillars, because that's what it looked like. And so I cleaned all this up, I trimmed it all up. I'm gonna fill this up with soil, or I might take it out and put it in the big garden, but nothing's eating on it anymore. I trimmed off all the old canes, and we'll see what happens and see if we eventually get some berries from here. But I think I need to put it in the ground. All right, so those are the beans, and they're actually doing really good. Now I did put some amendments in this bed, and I feel like these, because there's no like little tendrils or anything like that, I feel like these might be bush beans. I have to go back and look. But look, I can't even get through this area because I have allowed these zinnias to just grow out of control. And then back there, we have some onions right in there. And so, yeah, it's, you know, I should really cut these back and put them in a vase. They're just so pretty. And these are all self-seeding zinnias. Look at that. I mean, they literally have taken up this whole entire area. So yeah, that's why I'm thinking maybe this would be the best cut flower garden, because everything just likes the soil. Look at that. Isn't that so crazy pretty? Can you see that? Let me see. Let me tone down the brightness so you can see it better. Look at that. These are so pretty. And they bring so many butterflies. Look how pretty that color is. I don't know if you can tell, this is more of like a salmon color, and this is more like a dark mustard color. So that's how this little garden is doing. My little zinnia patches, they're doing so well right over here. All right, so let me go and show you how the other garlic patch is doing. I mean, not garlic, basil, my little basil tub. Here's my lemongrass. Now this is where I had the edamame and the strawberries, and yeah, I kind of let those buckets go. I'm going to put more soil and level them, and I don't know, I'm probably just going to plant some flowers in them for the fall. But the eggplant, not the eggplant, the lemongrass here is doing so good. It's still great. Now it's not, the stalk is not as big as the other one in the big garden, but this one is more of a younger plant. I've only had it for about, I want to say maybe 2 years, so it's not as old as the other one. But look at this. So the mint is doing really well. It is going to go to flower. Or I think it is it is flowering, which means it's going to go to seed, and that's fine. This is where I'm going to keep the mint usually anyway. So I have this one and a wheelbarrow that I have mint in. So the Thai chilies, the chilies never got big. This is pretty much how small they stayed, but they are so spicy. So here is my I forgot what this is called, holy basil. Yes, holy basil right here, and this one I bought from the nursery, and it's doing so good. Here's some mint that I've had here for a while, and then here is some basil that I have grown from seed, started from seed. This is the Thai basil right here, and then the big leaf basil is in the back there. So this is how this little bed's doing. And I'm probably not going to plant anything in here either, and maybe I'll plant some flowers as well for the fall. But trying to keep it simple for me because I have a lot of things going on. But today I'm going to go inside. I'm going to start up some bread, and I'm going to see how much I could get done. There's so many things I need to do before the cold weather. I don't know if we're going to have, I haven't looked at the forecast lately, so I don't know if we're going to get any cold weather anytime soon. But I do want to clean up. There's a ton of leaves like in front of the house here, and you know, I want to get those garden beds filled. So probably maybe sometime next week I will take you along with me in doing some farm chores. And I need to clean out the chicken coop, I need to clean out the stall area, oh my goodness, I need to finish up the garden. It's just a lot of work. So, and I'm starting sourdough. Okay, so thank you for watching. Hope everyone stays safe. Be safe out there and take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for hanging out with me. Bye-bye.